In this video, learn to use onValue change in a slider. Using trigger UnityEvent in Visual Scripting script. And how to use it in Input Field Text Mesh Pro, or how to send onValue change value into another object or script. Let's try to create a slider. Remember to set canvas size. This will fix wrong position on bigger screen. Move slider to center and make it bigger. On this slider, let's create new visual scripting script. With any names you like. Let's try to add node onValue change of this slider. It has only event slider, get onValue changed. As you see, this output is a listener. It's very complicated to use this in visual scripting. Luckily, we have another option to use it. On component slider, scroll it down. You will see event onValue changed here. Click plus icon to add event to use it in visual scripting. Select editor and runtime. Whenever value of this slider is changed, this event onValue changed will trigger a function. Send this message to the object we put it here. Let's send a message directly to itself. We can use UnityEvent to receive this message. Let's try to add another object into this option. You cannot see option script machine for visual scripting script, because main camera doesn't have any visual scripting script. Let's put object slider back again. On tab function, select trigger UnityEvent. Whenever value of slider is changed, it will trigger this UnityEvent. Let's find out what is UnityEvent. On nodes list, select events. Scroll down, and you will see node UnityEvent. Enter any names you want into. I will call it slider onValue changed. Then copy this name. And go back to component slider, paste the name into. Now whenever value is changed, it will trigger UnityEvent inside this object slider, with name slider onValue changed. Open our script. When this UnityEvent is triggered, let's try to get value of this slider. To get current value of slider, use slider get value. It will show value of this slider into debug log. Press play to test it. Slider has value is 0 now. When I move to change its value, the value has been changed, and we have this current value of slider because we used onValue changed. This time, let's try it on Input Field Text Mesh Pro. Press play to see how it works. Type any numbers. I will change its color. Create some stroke outline for it too. And some shadow to make it better look. In this Input Field Text Mesh Pro, you can see event onValue change as we did earlier. Let's use it to get the text inside when you're typing in this input field. Select Editor and Runtime. Add Object Input Field Text Mesh Pro into. On tab function, you don't see options script machine, because you didn't add any visual scripting script yet. Let's add new visual scripting script inside this Input Field Text Mesh Pro. Enter any names you like into. Now on tab function, you can see option script machine. Select trigger Unity event to send message to our visual scripting script. Add name to trigger, any name you want. Then copy this name and open our script. Add new Unity event. Paste the name into. Whenever the text inside this input field is changed, this Unity event will be triggered. Let's get the current text to debug log. To get the text inside, use input field text mesh pro, get text. This will be this input field object, because the script inside this input field. Press play to test it. When you type anything, you will get the current text immediately, because we already used event on value changed in our script. This time I will create another normal text. Move it to anywhere you want. Make the text size bigger. Now let's add the text object into a variable inside input field text mesh pro. Let's send the current text of input field to the text object. This is the text object. Add our text object into and send current text of input field to show it on this text too. Press play to see how it works. When you type anything in the input field, it will send the current text to our text object and display it. Now you understand how to use event on value change in visual scripting. If you want to send this text into a visual scripting script instead, use trigger custom event. Enter any names you want. I will remove set text and send current text of input field into a script inside text object. Add one argument in this trigger custom event and add text value into. This trigger custom event will call custom event with same name. Let's move this custom event to another script. Create new visual scripting script inside text object. Open it. Paste the custom event we copied into. Now you have the current text of input field inside this visual scripting script. Display it on the text object. Press play. Enter anything inside input field. You will use this event on value change and use this Unity event in any of your projects from now. Thank you for watching.